Bic disposable underwear. Bic, you mean the people that make the pens and the lighters and they're going to make underwear? What are they thinking? Lifesavers, I kind of get that one. Lifesavers fruit punch. We're going to compete with, I don't know, we're going to compete with Coca-Cola and Pepsi and Hawaiian Punch. Fruit punch. It could kind of work. Ben Gay makes aspirin. Frito-Lay makes lemonade. Some of these aren't going to work, and some of them you know aren't going to work, but some of them almost could work. Ben Gay is a pain reliever, Aspen's a pain reliever, it could almost work. Like Cosmopolitan, like Cosmo, the magazine, and now they're going to make yogurt. They're going to get into the food business, right? It is a brand extension in the example, or in the sense that they're using the same brand name, Cosmopolitan. It is a product extension in the fact that we're no longer dealing in magazines, we're going to sell food. What do they know about selling food? Nothing. Probably. Right? They hired some people and they know about selling and marketing food. Food in the grocery business and those sorts of things, one of the highest rate of failure in the whole country. Yeah, they're getting into a tough predicament. Harley-Davidson perfume. Smells like motor oil and smoke and exhaust. Smells like a man. But it's perfume, not cologne, maybe, though, I don't know. I'm being sexist in my Harley-Davidson brand image, but isn't that kind of their core brand image? Probably, right? We're trying all these things, and we're trying more, and we keep trying. And if you're Frito-Lay, you're trying every year, right? To get new products and get an edge and get an advantage. You're competing in a market space that is very red. Remember the blue ocean, red ocean? We're competing in a red ocean. If you can create some new little sub area that is a blue ocean, some little part that might last a little while, that gives you a little advantage, it could be very profitable. I could see how they might try leaving crunchy, salty snacks and getting into drinks. Okay? What it takes to launch one new commercially successful product: 3,000 ideas, 300 ideas submitted, 125 small projects, then some significant major developments, then commercial product launches, then one successful new product. This is an exaggeration. Well, somebody tried to do this study and quantify it all. If you have one really good idea, you could be successful. Hopefully it's a really good idea. But overall, what's going into a lot of the big companies is a filtering system, a vetting system where we have to look at things and test things and make sure they're right. And even after all that, we're still doing background research and running prototypes and focus groups where they're holding and touching and tasting our prototypes and asking people which flavors they like and what recipes and what packaging and brand names and other sorts of things. We are going to test as much as we can. We do not want to fail. Right? My first job out of college, out of the PhD program, was teaching at Butler University. Indianapolis, Indiana. Indianapolis, Indiana happens to be called the Circle City. It has a freeway that runs around, and maybe it's the Circle City because the Indy 500 too, but it has a freeway that actually goes in a circle and kind of contains the city. And that is sort of symbolic of the city in general, that the city of Indianapolis, of course being the biggest city in Indiana, but it's also kind of isolated. It's kind of separate. And it has demographics in terms of ethnicity, demographics in terms of age. I don't know about income, but I know the ethnicity aspect especially very, very closely mirrors the United States. Like the whole United States? Yeah, like the whole United States. We know that in California and Arizona there might be more Hispanic influence than European, Eastern European, and maybe you want some other, and you want African Americans and you want to reach this group. Yeah, The city of Indianapolis very closely mirrors the whole United States. If you are a really big company, if you're Frito-Lay, if you're Kellogg's, if you're ConAgra Foods, Unilever, Procter & Gamble, and you want to run a test market, if you want to bring something to market just for a month or two and see how it goes, Indianapolis is a really cool city to do that in. Okay? And if your product succeeds in Indianapolis, it might succeed nationwide. If your product fails in Indianapolis, you've got to rethink some things. That's cool. That's cool because I only failed in that one city, and not everybody, I'm not embarrassed in front of the whole country. I didn't run out a $10 million launch, I ran out a $1 million launch. Right? It could be really good to test market in a city. It could be really good to test market in a state, a region of the United States. It saves you money. It possibly gives you a preview into what happens. What would be bad about test marketing? If you have heavy competition in an industry, what might be bad about showing your hand? Thanks. Yeah, the competition will see that. And if we're talking about soda pop and a new flavor of beer and a new type of chocolate bar and new flavor of potato chips, the competition is going to find out what you're doing. But I always thought it was really cool living in Indianapolis that every time I went to the grocery stores, yes, they were Kroger's and stores you haven't heard of in California, but you went to the grocery store and you looked around and you saw all these new products. But if you liked it and you came back the next month, sometimes it wasn't there. It's kind of cool, though. You lived in a test market city. A lot of ideas go into bringing a new product, right? Now, if we're BIC and we sell pens and lighters and we're going to make underwear, well then, we probably have no business making underwear. And who wants disposable underwear? It's probably not a need that needs to be addressed or satisfied, right? How is your soda pop different than other soda pops? It might be, it might not be, right? And that might be a problem and a reason for failure, right? There's just not enough demand. You're just not reaching the right markets. You're underestimating the size of the markets. You're underestimating people's willingness to buy. What happens in focus groups is you bring people in, you're smiling and happy, and you want them to be smiling and happy. You want them to be comfortable. You give them money, you give them food, you give them valuable coupons. They come and they test they test your 5 flavors of barbecue sauce. You find out the one they like the best, you find out how much they're willing to pay, you ask them face to face, would you be willing to buy it? Sure, I love you, you love me, and you're giving me money, and I'm happy. Then they put it in stores and I don't buy it. Right? I say I'm willing to buy it, I would buy it, but it's just because it's hard to say no face to face, maybe. Right? People's intentions and people's behaviors are 2 different things. We also have bad timing. We put out something of poor product quality. The market isn't what we thought it was, or we possibly have poor execution of the marketing mix, like a bad name and bad packaging. And yeah, I think both of these are examples of bad names. I don't know, Fingos and cereal you eat with your fingers. Okay, I sort of got it. And you're General Mills, and you make cereal. Totally cool. But why don't I just, right now, General Mills, and I just open the box and I just eat the cereal with my hands, maybe, or put it in a bowl and just eat it out of the bowl. Why would I go out of my way to buy General Mills Fingos? There's no point of difference. It's a bad brand name. It's possibly a bad, ugly-looking box, I guess. People are spending billions of dollars on their pets. They'll do anything for their pets. My pet only drinks the finest Evian something smart water out of a crystal bowl with no lead in it, of course. Right? And I take my pet poodle to the get groomed all the time and washed, and I do this for my cat, and I do this. And of course, we're going to do anything for our cats and dogs, and we spend tons of money. So it seems like bottled water specifically for dogs or cats would work. I don't know, my dog, you just get it straight out of the hose and you're done. But everybody who really loves their pet says, that's not good. Don't ever drink out of a hose, it's full of lead. And you all don't drink out of a hose either. So why would you do it to your dog? I don't know. Bad packaging though, bad labeling. Thirsty Dog? What kind of a strange name is that? It's just not going to work. I sort of think if you tried it again, it might work. I read that Penn Tennis Balls makes a type of tennis ball just for dogs, and it's dye-free. Compared to the bright orange or bright yellow-green tennis balls, they take the dye out of it because lip cancer for dogs was a big deal. I don't know. And they charge twice as much. And they still sell it, and they're very popular. Okay. People are willing to do a lot of things for their dogs. Maybe it's just not a good point of difference. They called it Thirsty Dog and Thirsty Cat. If you read the fine print, it says it's filled with vitamins. That would probably turn me on more than just Thirsty Dog, Thirsty Cat bottled water. It's going to help my cat or dog be healthy, then I might buy it, in my opinion. 2 other product failures. The one on the left probably also suffering from a bad brand name. But you know what? It exists now in the grocery stores because they got away from the whole Avert name, right? They got away from the hospital look. They now just have the same sort of flowery designer boxes, and then it just says kills 100% or 99 point something % of viruses. That's cool, and that's something people want. But this box here says virucidal. What? I know homicidal, I know genocidal, I don't know virucidal, but I know I don't want anything cidal up by my face. Right? Don't put it in big print either. The box is ugly. Well, they were trying to go for the hospital, sanitary, something medically professional look, probably. Anybody who has kids is going to know the thing on the right is never going to work. You spray it around the room and it has bubblegum smell. Well, that's kind of cool, you know, bubblegum smell. But it says there's a monster in my room, Monster Buster spray. That means you walk into your kid's room and admit that there are monsters in the room. Basically tell them, that's okay, we'll spray them. That they're actually there? No, you tell them there aren't any monsters in the room, right? But this one, Monster Buster spray, but you know what? It was probably super cheap. They probably sold 500,000 bottles, and maybe just a 3-month business was enough to get something going, enough to buy that condo in Hawaii, right? Sometimes new products don't last very long. It doesn't mean they're not a success for somebody. We sort of implied that yesterday, right? Having a business, starting it up, having someone buy your business does not mean you failed. Right? What were they thinking in these strange product launches? We weren't listening to the voice of the customer. We were skipping stages in the new product development. We were engaging in groupthink and just following our boss or following the loudest person in our company or following the loudest person in our focus group. We didn't learn our lessons from other failures, from past failures of our company or someone else, right? We're doing something wrong. And the book claims, and other books claim, that there is this process and that you should go through this process. In my experience in petrochemicals, I guess mostly petrochemicals. In my telecommunications business experience, mostly we came up with new pricing and plans, and you might have the family plan and the family share plan, and I guess those are new service ideas, new product ideas. If you're going to fail, you did something wrong, possibly. You misinterpreted the market, you poorly named your product. The thing is, oftentimes, you've gone down a path and you're invested so much that you don't want to turn back. Sometimes you go halfway down a path and then you realize it's not going to work and you go back. It's not perfectly linear. It's not perfectly numerical and stepwise. It doesn't always work like this. And I think if you ask entrepreneurs, they would say, yeah, it doesn't always work like this. But a successful product, a successful entrepreneur might say, at some point, you go through those 7 stages. You go back and forth and you skip around and you go through 1 through 3 or 1 through 4 really fast or even simultaneously. There's nothing stopping you from, after this, you develop a strategy, and maybe some entrepreneurs would say, you don't even have a strategy at first, you just have a really cool idea. And then you go back and do step 1, but then you're still honing the idea. I would buy that, okay? You're screening an evaluation of the product at the same time you're doing business analysis of the market and how your product would fit in the market and how much product you need to sell to break even or to make a certain profit or get a certain market share. That would probably be true. You're still developing the product, you're market testing. We sort of said you're tipping your hand to competitors. Lots of people would say, forget market testing. I'm not market testing. I'm going to have a regional rollout. That's sort of like market testing. If it doesn't work in California, I'm not going to proceed eastward or other way around, east to west, right? Okay, cool. Market testing is bringing something like to Indianapolis, bringing something to Chico, California. Sure. I don't think I've told you this, but my brother and sister came to school here in the early 90s, like 89 to 95. They were both going to school here. So I was coming here and visiting and having a good time. Much different school than my commuter school. I would come up and visit them, and those were the last couple years of Pioneer Days. You heard stories of Pioneer Days? Close off the streets and drank for like 4 or 5 days? It was weird. It was cool, and it was weird. But one of the things that happened, at least when I came and visited my brother, we walked around the streets. Coors Beer, Coors Brewery, said any recognized student club can have free beer for the 4 or 5 days of Pioneer Days. You mean the surf club? What do we have, a surf club in Chico, California? There's no surf, but okay, we have a surf club. We have a skiing club, and we have a business club. I was an honorary member of the Latino Business Association myself. My roommate was the president, so he made me a member in the Latino Business Association. I hung out with those guys. They were fun. Okay, so the Latino Business Association could call this number and get a free keg of beer delivered. Yes, delivered and picked up for free. And every fraternity and every sorority, every day for 4 or 5 days? Sure. Cool. What did they want in return? It wasn't exactly market testing, because market testing is more bringing it to market and seeing how people will pay. But they were doing research. They brought one sorority raspberry-flavored beer. They brought another sorority lemonade-flavored beer. They brought another one dark something porter beer. And as you drank them, they expected you to answer questions. They expected you to sometimes fill out paper and pencil questionnaires. They sometimes just asked you verbally questions. But as you walk down the streets, there are sofas and chairs and something else, and different kegs of beer and different Coors people wearing like Coors polo shirts, and you just tried different beer. They all tasted the same after a few. But that was my first time trying lemonade-flavored beer. And I think they might have, kind of turned it into Mike's Hard Lemonade or something like that. That's how they screen some of their ideas. Raspberry beer is never going to work out. Cool. They only failed in Chico. They just tested it. They just want to see how it worked and get college students' opinions. It was relatively cheap for them. Okay? Commercialization basically means you're going to bring it to market, all the way to market, all the way in the 7-Eleven, if it's beer, or all the way in the Target store for this new blender or whatever it is. Okay? So commercialization, bringing it all the way to the store. You have slotting fees. You maybe have failure fees. If we don't sell this much in this amount of time, you'll give us even more money, or you'll get out. Yeah. I think we're okay with regional rollouts. Time to market might be important in some areas. From the time we bring it to California, we better get it nationwide soon, because if we're Coors, Anheuser-Busch is going to do something similar. There's not, it might be very important to us. You've heard the term reverse engineering, a technology product, some company buys it, looks at it, reverse engineers it, and develops their own. It's a little bit different because they have a patent, but it's different. It's a whole different thing. Yeah, maybe they reversed engineered it. Where do new product comes from? Where do new products come from? The 3M company had prided itself on the 20% rule. I once had an MBA student and said, they really follow the 20% rule? He said, they promote it, but they work you so hard that they don't really think that you're actually, but they want 20% of your work week, 20% of your time dedicated to innovation. That was 3M's focus for a lot of years. Cool. They actually developed a kind of a tape. I mean, 3M invented the Post-it note too, right? Someone was trying to figure out a tape that would stay for a long time, and instead they found stuff that could be stuck and unstuck, and then they realized, hey, that could work too. Someone came up with a type of tape that is so strong it's stronger than screws, stronger than nails. You could tape your house together. You could tape your airplane together. Cool. It's just that I sort of don't want to be in that airplane or live in that house. But maybe it could be cool, right? The screw is seeing a therapist. I see, how long have you had those feelings of inferiority to tape? 3M's innovation tape is stronger than screwing things together. All these things failed. Colgate's going to make a frozen food? Colgate, the toothpaste? They should have had multi-branding, right? Don't tell people it's Colgate. Create a new brand. Tell people it's Colgate. It doesn't fit in my mind of what Colgate is, right? The Kellogg's breakfast people, they put milk and cereal in the same box, and your milk was room temperature. That's fine in many areas of the world. We're totally used to that in many areas of the world. You buy your milk in like a box, like it is in the picture, like a juice box. It's been sealed up. It's not going to go bad. You could still put it in the fridge and get it cold. It's just that in the United States, we're really, really used to our milk being refrigerated. So it's not going to work. We misjudged the market. We're just trying to sell a hammer. What's the biggest problem with hammers and nails? Maybe it's your nails bending. Well, maybe it's holding the nail and hitting your hand or finger. So someone came up with a cool innovation and said, we'll just put the nail in the thing, and then we'll hit it a few times, then we'll pull it out, and then we'll hit it the rest of the way. That's a cool innovation. It could work. We could have a destruction hammer. We could have a designer hammer with a screwdriver inside. You live in an apartment in New York, you need a hammer twice a year, once a year. You might like the designer hammers. Okay? Depending on where you work, how often you work with a hammer, depending on where you live, what you need the hammer for, we should have more than one type of hammer. Not the classic yellow hammer up there, but why isn't there multiple types, multiple variations? There definitely should be. Even a hammer for demolition. And why do we even need all that? We can have, using the latest technology, hammers that pound the nail for you, straight in, every time. Just don't hit your foot. Questions about the end of chapter 10. The most important thing to probably remember is test marketing, commercialization, the new product development process, slotting fees. Are we good with those things? Cool. Thank you. Yes.